Hi, welcome back to Waxing On. We're the beginning of season 5. Can you imagine? Starting 5 years of sharing some great music together. Took last week off. Some of you may notice we didn't have any videos up. Taking a break between season 4 and season 5. Been a crazy time of year. We're getting back at it again, and hopefully we'll find some of the great artists that you have forgotten about or haven't heard before, get a chance to experience. Stay with us for another great season. This time we're kicking off, I don't want to say country because country gets people in the wrong mode. Singer-songwriter. This one, and a few of them we've talked about, they're so hard to define. Mary J. Carpenter, Lyle Lovett. This week's feature, Nanci Griffith. They don't know how to classify them. I mean, Nanci Griffith from Texas, sure, let's call her country. Put her in Nashville, do some recording. But when you listen to the music, it stands alone as something all its own. When I think of country, I think of Waylon Jennings, Porter Wagoner, Willie Nelson, people like this, Johnny Cash. I would call those country. I don't know what you classify this as. Country's probably the closest. Folk is something else. She used to call it folkabilly. It's just a different style of music. It's great music. That's all it really is. And that's what this show's about. We're not really into labeling this kind, that kind, that kind. We do kind of divide it into things like I know I was doing jazz, classic rock, and folk and that. But I mean, it's all great music. Doesn't matter what it is. If it's good, give it a listen. And that's where we're at this week, looking at singer-songwriter Nanci Griffith. Now, Nanci had some big hits as a writer. That's where I first became aware of her as the writer of Susie Bogus's big hit, Outbound Plane, which was getting a lot of airplay on music videos back in the day. And so I went out and I found her again on, where's my next big draw? Austin City Limits, PBS. She was on a few of those shows, and I listened to some of those and really got kind of hooked on her songwriting, the style. She got a very unique voice. It's really something I wanted to explore, and I bought quite a few albums during those years, and that would have been probably late 80s, early 90s. Now, when I usually tell you about trying out a new artist, what are the two things we say? Greatest hits, a live album. We're going to bookend this week with those two things. Today we're going to start off with an album called The MCA Years, a retrospective. And it's going to include music from the albums, Lone Star State of Mind, Little Love Affairs, One Fair Summer Evening, Storms, and Late Night Grand Hotel. A lot of great artists performing on here. Now, I'm not going to read them all off because I'll just show you what I have. I mean, there's the albums. There's the list of performers under each album. You can go to the internet, find out all the information about the performers. There's some great musicians on here. Blue Moon Orchestra was her main backing band. I never had a chance to see her live. I don't know if she ever toured up this way. I know she did a lot of tours over to Ireland and Europe and did well there, tours through the States. Mainly my exposure was through things like PBS or the recordings. So let's just take a look at this album. Some of the tunes may sound familiar. Most of them are either written or co-written by Nanci Griffith. I mean, that was her big thing. She was the singer-songwriter. And we're going to change that up a little bit on Wednesday when we get to another album here. Let's take a look anyways. Trouble in the Fields, From a Distance. Well, of course, there's one she didn't write, right? Julie Gold. And there's a version on here. There's a version we're going to talk about later in the week. And I'll tell you, if you've only heard Bette Midler's version of this, you ain't heard nothing. Check this out. To me, when I saw her do it on TV, it was one of the most powerful renditions I'd seen of this song. And I mean, she really puts everything into it. It's a total different read than the Bette Midler one. So if you've only seen the Bette Midler or heard the Bette Midler one, you owe it to yourself to check this out. I Don't Want to Talk About Love, Deadwood, South Dakota, Love at the Five and Dime, and there's a whole story goes with that one. It kind of makes it fun. Listen to the Radio, again, a popular one I'm sure you've heard somewhere. Gulf Coast Highway, I Wish It Would Rain, 40 Convoline, So Long Ago, If Wishes Were Changes, A Wing the Wheel, Late Night Grand Hotel. Now that was the title of one of her albums too, Late Night Grand Hotel, and to me, this was just one of the most excellent songs. The arrangements, the performance, just the honesty of the singing, but the music is just so great and the arrangement was just perfect. It's really one of my favorite tunes. If you get a chance, check that one out. Late Night Grand Hotel. Just Another Morning here. Drive-in movies and dashboard lights. There's Light Beyond These Woods. The Susie Boggess hit, Outbound Plane, is on here. And It's a Hard Life Wherever You Go. And again, that was a big hit. You may recognize that tune again. That one, big hit in Ireland. Surprisingly, what was the other one I mentioned? From a Distance. #1 in Ireland 4 years before Bette Midler even recorded it. So that one's been around a while. You may not know her name. You may know some of the tunes, but it's worth checking out. I mean, this is a great singer-songwriter, did some great performing, and if you are into folk-ish kind of music or the country-ish, or again, let's get rid of the labels, just some really interesting music to check out, give Nanci Griffith a try. Retrospective, the MCA years. That's it. We'll see you on Wednesday. We'll be doing another album of hers, very different from this one. We're going to bookend again with the greatest hits and then a live album. We got a little something special in the middle for you. Be sure to check us out for that. Till then, take care, stay safe. Thanks for stopping by.